This was from yesterday. We're gonna flash back in time to yesterday. I'm sorry. The cops step in after a frustrated Ted Cruz clashes with Montana airport staff.
I'm trying to figure out where they were announced on the plane, and the flight was there.
Cancun Karen. Now he was trying to fly back to DC for the hearings. Rep for the local airport told the Daily Mail that the annoyed senator had missed the check-in window for his flight to, did it say Boston? The crew said something along the lines of, "Don't you know who I am?" Didn't actually let us see the... I mean, you can't tell much from the video. Let's watch the unedited thing. See if we can hear what Cruz has to say here. Apparently the guard did not know that it was Ted Cruz until afterwards. Don't you know who I am? But thank God Ted Cruz didn't miss his flight, so that he was able to ask this fucking question of Ketanji Brown Jackson.
I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge Harvard's discrimination because I made that decision?
Senator, I'm not able to answer your question. You're asking me about hypothetical.
Example, I'm an Hispanic man. Could I decide I was an Asian man? Would I have the ability to be an Asian man and challenge?
Thank God he didn't miss his flight, because where would we be without Senator Ted Cruz asking such an elucidating question? His father was some kind of Mexican or something, wasn't he? Some kind of Mexican. That sounds kind of racist. His father was Mexican or something to that effect, I believe. But Ted Cruz himself is indeed from Canada. Let's watch him throw a little temper tantrum.
Senator Coons.
You don't want her to answer that question?
Oh, Cuban.
Mr. Chairman,
My bad. I'm sorry. Thank you, RB.
I've asked her why she sentenced Stewart.
You've gone over the time, Senator, by 2 minutes.
Why because you've interrupted me for 2 minutes, Mr. Chairman. Will you allow her to answer the question, or do you not want the American people to hear why?
Spider Pickle, what's up?
Described as an egregious.
There comes a point, Senator, where you get a little bit.
Chairman Durbin, will you allow her to answer the question?
You won't allow her to answer.
I will happily allow her to. The question is
Senator
why
Thank
you sentenced Stewart, an egregious child pornography possessor, to half of the amount requested by the prosecutor.
Please, Senator.
Will you allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin?
Senator Coons.
Why are you not allowing her to answer the question? There's not another senator here that you've not allowed her to answer the question. I'm not asking another question, but allow her to answer the question, Chairman Durbin.
Thank you, Chairman Durbin.
Why do you not want the American people to know what happened in the Stewart case or any of these cases? Chairman Durbin, I've never seen the chairman refuse to allow a witness to answer a question. You can bang it as loud as you want.
Well, I can just tell you, at some point you have to follow the rules.
She is too classy to bring up the incest porn, but in case you don't know what Dib is talking about, Ted Cruz actually tweeted out a picture. I believe it was a tweet. Might have been like an Instagram or something. Tweeted out a picture. I'm pretty sure it was Twitter. Tweeted out a picture of his computer he had taken, and he had a bunch of browsers open, and one of them was incest porn. Fucking Ted Cruz.
rules.
Okay, will you let her answer the question?
Start craving.
Been interrupting, and by the way, with Senator Graham, it went 10 minutes over. You've
sure
taken a
did.
big chunk of the time. Will
sure
you allow her to answer the question?
You've given her.
Why are
full
you afraid of her?
opportunity.
So that is the reason why it was still going on right before I came on the stream. They all went over. He does indeed. He loves being cucked by Trump. That is his biggest kink.
She's welcome to answer it right now. Will you let her?
Senator Coons.
Will you let? So no, you don't want her to answer the question?
Senator Coons.
Will you let her answer the question?
Chairman Durbin,
Apparently,
Judge
we're
Justice.
very afraid of the American people hearing the answer to that question.
we here in the Senate, in this committee today, are in the middle of a policy fight.
So there you have it, Ted Cruz. Let's hear from one senator from South Carolina, Mr. Lindsey Graham. If you're keeping track, this is his second. Oh, we're not even going to hear from him. This is going to be his second walkout.
That we should be doing our job here. But part of our job, we have failed in responding to the changing circumstances that face this crime. What has it been, 15 or 16 years?
Stark Raven, the question was about why she had it was like half the time that the prosecutor had asked for is what she gave the defendant in a child porn case. Her rulings have been consistent with other rulings in the same cases. Republicans, Democrat alike. So, this is a nonsense argument that they're throwing out there. But they're trying to make it like she is incredibly lenient on people who possess child porn. So that they can then take that and say that she is lenient on sex offenders. That's exactly what they're wanting to do. Now, there was a question. It was about the Stewart was the defendant in the case. They were the ones that were caught in possession of child porn. Apparently, Brown had called it egregious. Cruz was quoting her own words. But I don't know what the actual sentence was. If the prosecutor was asking for fucking 50 years and Brown gave him 25 in a child porn case, it's probably one of those issues. But Dick Durbin is admonishing Lindsey Graham after he wrapped up his questioning.
What has it been, 15 or 16 years? She is currently not an outlier in sentencing. 70% of the federal judges face the same dilemma and wonder why Congress has failed to act and when it will act.
This is our fault?
Partially it is, Senator. To be honest with you, it is. We have to upgrade these guidelines and decide whether we're going to stick with the Supreme Court decision that they're not mandatory. Senator Feinstein.
Thank you.
And there is your
Mr. Chairman.
walkout from Lindsey Graham.
I would like to compliment the witness.
And the fact of the matter is that I'm co-sponsor of your bill, the Earn It Act.
Brown watched him walk out too. Her eyes shifted over. Oh, you walking out, what, man? I'm glad. Let me bathe in Lindsey Graham's tears. Here is Senator Tom Cotton. He is going to talk about Guantanamo Bay detainees.
So no opinion on whether America would be safer or less safe if we were.
And if you guys, Brown once represented a detainee at Guantanamo Bay. She was appointed to represent the detainee in a terrorism case, which is admirable on her part, but also I don't think she had a choice. She was appointed by an agency to do it. It wasn't like she volunteered to do it. That was the thing that kind of shocked me. I was like, oh shit, she volunteered to defend a Guantanamo Bay detainee. That's mad props. But no, she was just appointed. I guess they probably had a lottery or something, and they just drew names. This person gets this person. This person gets this person, so that they have a lawyer. But that's admirable on her part for doing that. I love defense attorneys. Those are my favorite kind of attorneys.
So no opinion on whether America would be safer or less safe if we released all the detainees from Guantanamo Bay.
Senator, America would be less safe if we don't have terrorists out running around attacking this country. Absolutely. America would also be more safe in a situation in which all of our constitutional rights are protected. This is the way our scheme works. This is how the Constitution that we all love operates. It's about making sure
They don't give a shit about the Constitution.
doing what it's supposed to do in a time of crisis. As Justice Gorsuch said, the Constitution is not suspended in times of crisis.
Man, she did it again. She keeps referencing the right-wing justices and saying, I agree with them. She had done Amy Coney Barrett and she had done Kavanaugh previously. Now she drops Gorsuch. She just did all three Trump-appointed justices. And apparently she had mentioned Thomas and how she agreed with Thomas multiple times as well. Yeah. He is fantastic. That's why, like, I'm going to do the fourth day of hearings tomorrow, just because, like, I want to watch her in action some more. I've been busy this week. I should have done all the other days. We should have gone all week on these confirmation hearings.
The government still has to follow the rules. And so criminal defense lawyers make sure that in times of crisis, the government is following the rules.
Okay, let's turn to the actual cases.
Now, to be fair, the rape, I love beer, devil's triangle, those confirmation hearings, that part of the confirmation hearing, that was like an addendum to the actual confirmation hearings. They called him back in for new hearings after they had already gone through this process. That's why it was a more contentious show. I remember that too. I was working as a install tech at that time, and I'm sitting in the shop like making wires and shit, and I'm watching that fucking hearing on my phone. I've got like the phone propped up and watching it, got my headphones in. I love this shit. I loved court. That was my favorite thing, was to go and sit in court. I'd go sit in court for hours when I was the news director. But also, like, I could only do it if, I didn't have anything else to do that day. Just go and sit in court. Go watch arraignments. Yeah, like, if I didn't have anything else to do, I'd go watch arraignments. Fun. This is Senator Cornyn bringing up the topic of abortion, which is a hot button topic with the Supreme Court.
What does viability mean when it comes to an unborn child, in your understanding?
Senator, I hesitate to speculate. I know that it is a point in time that the court has identified in terms of when the standards that apply to regulation of the right.
Justice Brennan, at a later point in his career on the Supreme Court, admitted that the viability line was an arbitrary line.
Of course it is, Cornyn.
Agree with him?
Senator, I'm not able to comment on viability. There's a case pending in the Supreme Court right now concerning the issues.
Serious dip. That's another thing. Like, all the right does is virtue signal. They want to wear their flags all over them. They want to say they believe in the Constitution. I stand for the unborn. I'm a patriot. I served my country. That kind of fucking bullshit. All it is virtue signaling.
I'm asking you about previous decisions, but I hear you. No one suggests that a 20-week-old fetus can live independently outside the mother's womb. Do they?
I don't know.
I mean, you need...
I believe it's happened a couple of times.
And all the other essentials to sustain human life.
I think like the earliest that's ever survived is like 17, 18 weeks or something like that.
Can live independently, correct?
Senator, I'm not.
But isn't usually
biologist.
isn't
I
it
haven't
usually
studied
22
this.
weeks?
I don't know.
Or is that's just the delineation the court's made?
You don't know
What-
whether an unborn child could live outside the womb at 20 weeks gestation?
What I know is that the Supreme Court has tests and standards that it's applied when it evaluates regulation of the right of a woman to terminate their pregnancy. They have the court has announced that there is a right to terminate up to the point of viability, subject to the framework in Roe and Casey, and there's a pending.
I believe that's like, and the reason they chose that number is because like that's the average time. Beg the question, of course.